Lindsay from Fit and Fabulous, and today I'm going to be talking all about the keto diet. So I'm actually going to be telling you all about like my personal experience with the keto diet. I'm going to be exposing basically like everything, kind of like even like the nitty gritty stuff that you probably don't even want to hear about. And I'm going to be telling you the reason why I actually gained weight with the keto diet. So if you guys don't know what the keto diet is basically a high fat, low carb diet. So basically what you're doing is you're essentially turning your body from a carb burner, because that's what most of us are. We're just eating a lot of carbs and a lot of protein throughout the day. So we're more of a carb burner, and we're converting our bodies into being a fat burner. If you break down the macros, and if you guys don't know what macros is, basically that's your carbs, your fat, and your protein, and all food is made up of those three things. The keto diet is 75% fat. So think of your day, 75% of what you're eating is fat, 20% is protein, and 5% is carbs. I think they want you to keep it around like 20 grams of carbs, like max, pretty much like throughout the day. So basically you're not even really gonna be eating any carbs, because even when you try to avoid carbs, there's literally carbs in everything. So the salad dressing still might have like 1 to 2 grams of carbs. The piece of meat might still have like 1 gram of carbs. So basically you're still getting like the odd carb here and there. Now this is different than the Atkins diet, because the Atkins diet is more a high protein and low carb, and I'm not sure exactly where fats fit in there, but I know with the keto diet, they only want you eating basically 20% of your daily, like however many calories you're gonna eat in a day, because if you eat too much protein throughout the day, your body's still gonna take that protein and convert it to carbs, and you're still gonna be like a carb glucose burner rather than like the fat burner that they want you to be on the keto diet. So the reason why I started the keto diet was essentially because I was actually having some problems with yeast, and usually yeast comes with like consuming too many carbs, especially simple carbs. So I thought the keto diet with like eliminating a lot of like the carbs would definitely help with that aspect as well. At the same time, my boyfriend, well, fiance now, was doing the keto diet with me, and his whole goal was to basically lose weight with it. I had to kind of like force him into like doing the keto diet with me. He didn't really jump into it like I did essentially, but once he kind of got into it, he really did like it and kind of like the lifestyle, like how you actually eat on the keto diet. So when I initially started the keto diet, it was really hard to kind of like get my mindset around basically like eating this way compared to like eating this way, because I was so used to eating my healthy carbs, you know, my sweet potatoes and my brown rice and my oatmeal and my like super healthy bread that I like to eat, and like my chicken breast and my steak and all that kind of stuff. And now in the keto diet, I was taught to basically eat so much fat and basically like hardly any protein and like 0 carbs. So it was really hard to really just like wrap my brain around exactly what I was allowed to eat. I know I was eating a lot of bacon, a lot of eggs. I was having a lot of avocado, some coconut oil. Basically everything was doused in oil, like everything, because it's really hard to actually get 75% of like your daily calories in fat. It's actually really, really tough. So the thing with the carbs on the keto diet is that you can have like cauliflower and some like the odd vegetable here and there, but a lot of them have too much sugar in them, and a lot of them actually have too many carbs in them. So you really don't even get to eat that many vegetables, which is kind of a little bit of a Debbie Downer. Once I kind of got into that mindset, it took like a couple weeks. It definitely got a lot easier for sure. Now, when you're first starting keto, there is a couple ways to kind of test to make sure that you're in ketosis. So ketosis is basically, so after you've used up like all your glucose and all the carbs in your body, what happens is your body actually starts to make ketones. And so your body starts to use these ketones as energy. And this is basically where you get like so much more energy, and you're supposed to feel so much better. And there is some ways that you can actually test to see if you're in keto or not. The first way is there is some strips that you can actually pee on. There's like pee strips. I think you can buy them on Amazon or something. And so you can test your ketones that way, as well as you can actually prick your finger, the same as like diabetics do, and check a strip to see if you're in ketosis as well. Sounds a little bit extreme and a little bit bizarre, but my fiance, he did want to try that. So he did try that because he's kind of like more like analytical like that, and he wanted to make sure that he was actually in like ketosis. So he tried that. I mean, I did it a couple times, and I don't think I really got into like super deep like ketosis or anything like that, but he definitely got into more of like a ketosis, well, by the strips anyways, than I did. So the first week on keto, So it was kind of exciting because I got to eat like some super tasty food. I was eating a lot of chicken wings. Most times like when I went out to eat, I would order like chicken wings and a salad. Now I had to be careful with barbecue sauce because that definitely has a lot of sugar in it and a lot of carbs. So you just basically want to have them like without anything, pretty much just like salt and pepper. I ate a lot of bacon and eggs. I had some avocado. So you know, like those fattier foods are definitely tasty. So I was like, this is the best thing ever. I get to eat all these like good tasty foods, but then at the same time I'm like, should I really be eating all this fat? It just seems so weird. It seems like for so long we're taught not to eat fat, that when you're actually allowed to eat an excessive amount of fat, that it just seems wrong. It just seems like you're totally going against the grain. So that first week was kind of like, I don't know, it's like I was really kind of like in the unknown as to like, is this the right thing to do? Is this not the right thing to do? I don't know. But I continued on with it. I basically dedicated at least like 3 months to really just like stick with the keto diet and see what it was gonna do for me. The first week, because I had such low carbs, I was really spacey. I felt like when I was driving around in my car, I had no idea. I didn't even know what was going on half the time. It just seemed like I was in like complete space. I had zero idea what I was doing. It's like basically the times where you have the phone on your hand and you're walking around saying, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Or like you're looking for your keys and you have the keys like in your hand. So I didn't really like that, but I was reading up on it. It's just definitely part of the process. It's basically your body just kind of like getting rid of all those carbs and all that glucose in your body. That's kind of like almost where the transition starts with the keto diet. So it was spacey, but I did feel like I was starting to like slim out for sure. I was feeling thinner. I felt like my muscle tone got a lot smaller. So I was a little bit afraid that I was actually losing like some of my muscle because I was still going to the gym. But of course I did learn that your muscles actually hold on to a lot of your glucose and the glucose holds on to water. So basically when you're eating a super low carb diet and your body's using up all the carbs in your system, is your body's actually using up all the carbs in your muscle and getting rid of all the water. So that's the reason why they look like they shrink. So you're not actually losing your muscle tone, you're really just losing all the carbs and all the water like in your muscles, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I was feeling good about what I was eating because it was like super tasty food. I was kind of like wrapping my brain, you know, around like this new way of eating. I was feeling good and thin and trim, you know, I was feeling good because I wasn't eating any carbs. I wasn't feeling bloated at all. But then something else happened. Because I wasn't eating many carbs and because I wasn't eating like that much fiber compared to what I was eating before, I was having a bit of trouble going to the bathroom, if you know what I mean. I feel like I went about 3 or 4 days at a time without going to the bathroom. And believe me, I'm more of like, I go on a regular basis. I'm more of like a regular Nancy for sure. So when I go in, and I'm like a quick pooper. Like I go in and out, I swear I can like poop faster than I pee. It's kind of bizarre, but it's like, I swear it's one of my traits. But when I started the keto diet, I think things, because your body is switching from this glucose, carb burning person to now like a fat burning person, your body has to make all these new enzymes. So it doesn't really know what to do at the time. It kind of has to like teach itself and figure it all out. And because you're not eating as much fiber, and because when you don't eat as many carbs, your body doesn't actually retain as much water. So when you drink water, it kind of just goes right through you. So that's another thing on the keto diet. Be sure to actually drink a lot of water. So you're kind of losing a lot of water. I was having a lot of trouble going to the bathroom. It was kind of a big thing. And I mean, I was on those like keto sites being like, dude, like, is this normal? And they're like, oh, it is completely normal. And I mean, it was definitely not pleasant at all. I felt like I was giving birth through my butt and it was not a good deal. That was definitely one of the negative things for sure within the first week. So be on the lookout for that. I did feel like I was starving at times just because I'm just so used to eating like carbs that it just felt the fat wasn't really filling me up, but it was filling me up. So I kind of felt it was just a little bit of a weird mindset again. I took a couple weeks for all that stuff to kind of like sort itself out. And I swear after a couple weeks, it was like the clouds lifted and it was like a whole new world in keto world. It was crazy. I felt like I could think faster. I felt like I was smarter. I felt like I had more energy. I didn't have the afternoon slump. I just felt really good. It was like this really good kind of like euphoric feeling. It's really bizarre to explain, but it's totally true. You don't feel hungry as often and you just have so much more energy. So like I said, this happened after about like 2 weeks on the keto diet. So like that first 2 weeks, I would say really sucked. It was really bad. But then after the 2 weeks, and I'm telling you, after the clouds lifted, did and I felt so much better. I was like, oh, this is exactly what people talk about. You know how when like people talk about running and they like get to this like running stage and they just feel so good running? I mean, I don't actually get that. I think I've had that maybe one time ever. That's kind of what I would describe it as. So it's kind of like this euphoric feeling where you just feel good. You just have good energy, you sleep good, you just feel amazing, you feel alert, you just feel so good. So after a couple months, we were still feeling really good. You know, we kind of got more into the rhythm of it. I was feeling good. I'd lost a few pounds. My fiance, he actually lost like 20 pounds. He was like super quickly on it. He was feeling awesome. He was like, this is like the best thing ever. And I swear we were telling everybody about it, how we were raving about it, how we felt good, and how like literally you can eat like chicken wings and just like still feel slim, trim, and like go out and rock whatever you're wearing. But then around the 6-month mark, for myself, I felt like I'd lost too much a little bit. I felt like even like my muscle tone, I kind of wanted a little bit more muscle tone back. So I would kind of nibble a little bit more on like a few carbs kind of like here and there. Like I might have like a little bit of oatmeal, or I might have like a little bit of brown rice, or I might have like maybe a few chips here and there. I mean, I wouldn't say I splurged like a lot. It was literally just like a tiny bit. But my theory is, now I don't know if this is 100% true, but this is my theory, that when you're on the keto diet and you basically starved your body of carbs, because that's kind of like your main body fuel source, right? That's what your body always wants to go to first. It's kind of like secondary is the fat. So I think when you're eating carbs, your body is like, oh my gosh, like we haven't had carbs in so long, so we're gonna take these carbs and we're just gonna store them and we're not gonna use them at all. So I think what happens is your body literally stores any sort of carb known to man. So it stores the carbs because it doesn't know when it's gonna get the carbs again. So if it stores the carbs, it knows in case of emergency, it has these carbs to basically go back to. So even though I was doing the keto diet, of course I was still tracking, doing everything, but I was just like the odd time I would eat a few more carbs here and there, like my body was storing carbs like no other. This is the point where I gained weight. I bet you I gained like probably, I don't know, I didn't actually weigh myself because I felt like it was to the point where my shirts were shrinking. I was like, did I put my shirt in the dryer? Because I feel like it's definitely not fitting. So I don't know if I gained 15 to 20 pounds. It was definitely quite a bit. I know my fiance, his weight, like after he started eating a few more carbs, just again like the oatmeal, the brown rice, just like super healthy carbs. I mean, like it wasn't like we were eating like massive bags of chips, French fries, or anything like that. Literally it was like super healthy carbs, that his weight was starting to go up as well. So this is basically where we both started to gain weight. It was probably around like the 6-month to maybe even like 8-month mark. This is the point where I really had to make a decision, where am I gonna go back to like strict keto diet the way I was before, where I can literally have like 0 carbs, or am I gonna go back to the way I was eating before? And of course, when you're in the mindset of like the keto diet, you just focus on eating fat throughout the day and just like a little bit of protein and just like maybe like a hint of like carbs, and then trying to go back to eating normally where you can actually eat carbs and then you can eat protein and like the tiniest bit of fat. It's really confusing, and it kind of just like, again, like warps your brain kind of going back and forth. Long story short, I went back to like my original way of eating, where I'm eating like good healthy carbs, good healthy protein, and I do still incorporate good healthy fats into my diet because they are super healthy for you, because they're good for your hair, skin, nails, every single cell in your body. So I know fats are definitely good for you, and especially good for your brain as well, and your hormones for women. That's also super important. That is really the reason why I gained weight on keto. Now, I've seen like YouTube videos of people on keto for years and years and years. I mean, it's a lifestyle. If you're gonna do keto, you gotta do it basically for life. You have to be strict keto. You just can't jump back and forth. You can't do like keto, no keto, keto, no keto. You basically have to stick with one or the other. So if you're gonna do keto, you have to stick with the keto basically like rules. If you're gonna do the keto, okay? If you're gonna do like the regular thing like I do right now, stick to that. Or if you're gonna do the Atkins, stick to that. Or if you're gonna do the paleo, stick to that. I believe like there's not one specific way that people should all eat. You really need to kind of get like in tune with your body as to really what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body. Certain things work for certain people and certain things don't work for other people. I can't say one thing is better than the other things. That's kind of like my rant really about the keto diet. If you guys have any questions at all, let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will talk to you later. Love you. Bye.